Well, okay. Now, so obviously, ultra luxurious ships. How about destinations? I mean, because I know you're doing a lot of long haul as well as Mediterranean cruising, and sometimes the ships come to the UK, but you do a lot of excellent long haul destinations as well.
We do, and this is why I love working with Planet Cruise, because they are the destination agent in the UK for us. The portfolio of destinations is absolutely stunning, and I could take up the whole tape telling you where we go, but in a nutshell, in the summer we're in Europe, and Europe would include Black Sea, which is really popular at the moment with the UK, Eastern and Western Med and Baltics.
Okay.
Then we have Alaska. So we sail out of, we do a great sailing from San Francisco to Vancouver, and then we do some round trip Seattles, which are great. So that's the summer. And then in the winter, we go further afield. Caribbean is a top destination for us. Panama Canal, Asia, which includes China, Japan and Vietnam. We also go to Australia and New Zealand, South Pacific, South America, Amazon River. I don't want to miss any. Well, I'm sure I've missed one there, but
I mean, you say South America. Do you go down the towards the Cape Horn down that way as well?
We do the whole. We go completely around the Horn.
Fantastic.
Which is amazing.
Yeah, because you're going up past all the ice fields as well.
Exactly.
Patagonia and all that. Yeah.
That's about a 30-day voyage, but then we have the shorter legs as well. And I know I've missed one, and I'd probably be fired if I didn't tell you about the World Cruise as well.
Okay, yeah.
181 days. Well, I won't be able to be too specific with the ports.
I'm joking, of course. Just say around the world.
Yeah, around the world, but it's 181 days. So if you've got 6 months spare, you can leave in January, come back in July, and you're going to go all over the place. But and then we've also divided that up into the segments as well.
That's a long world cruise though.
It's
a lot
the longest.
Exactly.
The longest. And do you know what? We couldn't believe it. We went on sale and we sold 3/4 of the ship within 2 weeks. So people do have, that opportunity.
I'm not surprised though, because one of the things I love about the fact that you've got, I mean, I would say, your fleet is, you say smaller to mid-sized ships, so 30,000, and then you said 60,000.
Yeah, 65, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, really, compared to some of the mammoths that you get, these are lovely ships, and the great thing is they can get into ports and destinations and tender off certain areas which other ships wouldn't be able to get anywhere near.
Exactly, and we're always looking for new destinations as well. But the itineraries are very port intensive. We don't have many sea days at all. Okay. We have lots of late nights in the ports of call and lots of overnight stays, because it would just be terrible to go to Hong Kong, for example, and not experience Hong Kong at night. And absolutely. Shanghai, lots of overnight stays, and pretty much all of the itineraries will have an overnight.
So it strikes me that really, in a sense, although you're pushing the boundaries of the standards for luxury and for the food and port intensive cruising, at the same time you're bringing it back to basics as well, because a lot of companies have lost that ability to stay overnight in port or to stay longer to properly experience it. So you've kind of reined that back in to give people time.
Yeah.
Because sometimes that's what you sometimes miss out with. You don't get enough time to enjoy.
Exactly. I mean, we we have a very high repeat percentage of guests.
Okay.
So as a brand, 55% of our guests are coming back. On the new ships, it's up to 70% now of guests are returning. And we ask them, why are you coming back? Tell us why. And really, it's for the service. They love that relaxed ambience. They love the cuisine. And number 4 is the destination. And it's key. And, we're making it very affordable for people as well. This is a brand that, it sits above the mainstream cruise lines, but it sits below the ultra luxury cruise lines. So it's a great place to be, really. It's really in the middle. And if you've not cruised before and the thought of a big ship is off-putting, then this is a great way to come into cruising as well, that country house hotel feel.
It's lovely. I mean, I think I commented when I was on board earlier in the year. I think I tweeted, I went into the library and I kind of felt like I was, and for me this was brilliant, but I felt like I was in an Agatha Christie novel because of all the wood panelling, you know what I mean? And I love that, because it wasn't kind of like it was musty and anything like that. It was clean, it was gorgeous, it was beautiful, and it just had, like you said, that really classy kind of ambience, and also kind of a sense of, for me as a Brit, a sense of kind of almost like British history in there as well, you know, which
Yeah,
is lovely. It was kind of a feel of a country house.
We're very lucky because we have a great mixture of guests on board as well. Even though we're an American cruise line, 50% of our guests will be American, and then the other 50% is going to be UK as the second market, and then you get the Scandinavians, South Americans, Australians, and the Russians are coming, and the Germans, you know, all these growing markets. And it's so nice when you're on board with like-minded people, very affluent people, very discerning travellers, and you can just go up, help yourself to a book and find a cosy snug, sit down, have your illy coffee and chill out, and then look forward to getting off and exploring. I mean, as I said, on those smaller ships, the average age is 60, but these guests don't feel like they're 60, they feel like they're 40. So they're very active mind, active body, and they don't want to necessarily lay around the pool all day. They want to get off and explore the destinations. But when they come back, they want to be pampered, have great food, have great service. And, you know, it doesn't go on all night. You go for a nice show. You're going to go and have a nice after dinner drink. By about 1 a.m, it's all died down. So, you know, it's not like some of the other ships that are a little bit more Vegas-y with the entertainment. It's a little bit more low-key.
Okay, but with that, I mean, what kind of do you get guest artists coming on board? You have your own resident show team?
Yeah. So we have our own singers and dancers on board that perform, and we have a lovely Andrew Lloyd Webber show on the newer ships and a proper theatre. It's great. Every night there'll be entertainment. So the entertainment we try and gear around the destination as well. So, for example, if you're in the South Pacific, you're probably going to have some traditional dancers from that region on board, the same as Asia, so as well as our shows.
You bring on a lot of sometimes local acts as well to come and perform for you as well. When you're late in port, or you can get them on.
Yeah. And then in the day, as I said before, we have the cookery demonstrations, we have the artists that come on board. And then we have some really cool people, like on my cruise there was an FBI profiler that was doing talks on how he caught the Boston Strangler. And do you know what? He was absolutely packed every day. It was just something a little bit different.
So guest lectures and guest speakers as well.
We have lots of culinary, so we have a Jacques Pepin cruise, we have Bon Appetit cruises, we have a lot of wine cruises. So they're all listed.
So you mentioned wine. Do you have you've got a very good cellar, I hear, on board, in the sense of, you know, a very good selection of different wines.
Oh, it's amazing. And there is actually a wine cellar called La Reserve, and this is it's a wine cellar in the day, and then it gets transformed into a restaurant in the evening. It just seats 24 guests. Now, this is the only place where you pay a little supplement, and you have to pay for the wine. But you're going to have 8 courses of the most amazing food paired with specific wines. And the sommeliers are going to explain why the food goes with the dish that you're having. And the chef will come out. It's a real intimate experience. And if you're a real foodie, it would be right up your street.
If you're a wino like me.
But our vice president actually owns a wine cellar in LA. So the wine is very good on board, and there are very good wine packages. So we're not fully all-inclusive with the wine. You can go fully all-inclusive if you want. So there's different packages, but
so would you say you say you're semi all-inclusive?
Yeah, so we're semi-all-inclusive. All those restaurants are included. All the soft drinks, bottled waters, specialty coffees are included. If you want all your alcohol included, then you have to pay, I think it's about £40 per person per day. Now, if one of you drinks and the other one doesn't, you can buy the package for one person only. But this is all of your top shelf liquors, your Grey Goose, your Absolute, Tanqueray, single malts. You're really licking your lips. Perrier Jouet champagne, and a Remy XO brandy is also included. But, you know, some people don't drink, so we don't want to go all-inclusive as a cruise line. We'll leave it up to our guests. You know, if you're just going to have a nice bottle of wine and a gin and tonic, there's no reason for you to take the drinks package. You know,
it makes sense, actually, because in a sense you're not charging people that don't drink the extra for having alcohol they're not going to drink. So absolutely, and it gives people that chance.
Yeah, and a nice glass of wine is $9. A nice gin and tonic with Tanqueray is $9. Yeah. I shouldn't know all the prices. But,
well, you were on holiday recently, weren't you?
Yes.
So was it August?
August for 12 days.
On the Riviera?
On the Riviera,
okay.
Istanbul.
Was that when you hired out the...
Yes, we had privé on that cruise, which was amazing. But I just loved it. I fell in love with the cruise line I work for, and it's so wonderful to have had that experience.